Ethiopia and Sudan have been enjoying robust bilateral relationship for so long. The two countries share common history, religion and ancient civilization. These commonalities have immensely contributed for the consolidation of their multidimensional ties in diplomacy, economy and cultural exchange. Since the last few years, Sudanese investors have been flocking to Ethiopia to operate in the ever-attracting business environment and enjoy the rising investment opportunity. Bearing that in mind, the two countries are working together to advance their relations not only at government level, but also in broad base at the public level. And the major instrument for this is practicing public diplomacy. The Ethiopian public diplomacy team has recently been to Sudan to further cement the relation of the two nations and amplify the promising spirit of cooperation in harnessing the waters of the river Nile. Receiving the Ethiopian team in Khartoum, Speaker of Sudanese National Assembly, Dr. El-Fatih Izzeddin, has mentioned that his country stands by Ethiopia's development, cognizant of the commitment of the government in Addis Ababa to defeat poverty.
مشروع صد النهضة صحيح أنه مشروع وطني سيوبي خالص.
We are happy about Ethiopia's development. Especially the construction of the Grand Renaissance hydropower dam is something we are happy about. We know that Ethiopia is executing the project by mobilizing its local resources, particularly in injecting money for the construction. We are confident that the Grand Dam would be of help for Sudan and Nile countries.
The speaker noted that the people-to-people and government-to-government ties between Ethiopia and Sudan have been growing through time. Dr. Izzeddin has called on political actors in Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia to keep the spirit of cooperation on the Nile for mutual prosperity. The Ethiopian public diplomacy team head Abdullah Gameda, who is also Speaker of the House of People's Representatives, substantiates what his Sudanese counterpart has said.
ይሄ ግድብ በዋነኛነት ደህንነታችንን ለማዋጋት ከምናደርገው ትግል ጋር የተያያዘና
We came here to further consolidate and solidify our long-standing brotherhood and advance this relation to a high degree of public interaction. Ethiopia is constructing the Grand Renaissance Dam on the Nile River with its aspiration of defeating poverty. The dam will also benefit Sudan, Egypt and other neighboring countries. We hope this dam will unite us more and more.
The next stop of the Ethiopian public diplomacy team was at the Sudanese Ministry of Water Resources and Electricity. The discussion here was tailored at broadening cooperation to fairly and equitably utilize the Nile waters for common benefits. Besides, the talk has incorporated the significance of the Ethiopian Grand Renaissance Dam in accelerating economies and thereby increasing regional integration. The Minister Mutaz Musa Abdullah Salim speaks of Ethiopia's right for development and is confident that Ethiopia will not harm the watersheds of downstream countries.
I always said that Ethiopia has a right for development and it has a right to commonly, jointly, equitably, in a reasonable manner make use of the resources given to it. The only consideration that has always to be considered is no significant harm on downstream countries being Sudan and Egypt. We are totally convinced that Ethiopia has no any intention to do any harm. This is for sure. I think this is very wise and very pioneering that Ethiopia to send such delegation that indeed represents the whole of Ethiopia. And it is indeed also very good to involve all Ethiopian stratas of the community in decision making in such a good process Ethiopia is doing now. Bringing them to Sudan, bringing them to Egypt will definitely involve them and get insight, information, how people are thinking, how good wishes Sudan is having towards Ethiopia, how can we really commonly mobilize the whole community strata structure to come up to serve our common goals for the benefit of us all. I think this is very pioneering the way it is done.
Mr. Salim has appreciated the Declaration of Principles signed among Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia in Khartoum and mentioned its role to boost cooperation on the Nile River. As part of its tour in Sudan, the public diplomacy team has visited various institutions, development activities and historical places. Among these places was the Marawi Dam and its historical sites. The Sudanese State Minister of Water Resources and Electricity, Dr. Tabita Shokai, who joined the Ethiopian team in the visit, mentioned that the River Nile is proving to be the drive for the ever-growing bond between the peoples of the two countries. Dr. Shokai noted that it is the right thing to do for Ethiopia to construct the Grand Dam as Sudan has built Marawi Dam. She is confident that the Grand Dam will play a vital role in benefiting the Nile countries.
We have great cooperation in the area of energy, in the area of electricity, in the area of cooperation in the about the Great Renaissance Dam. We think that the benefit will be for mutual for our both people of Ethiopia and Sudan. We are interested in that the Ethiopian delegation see our Marawi Dam, because as you are building a great dam in Africa as well, the Great Renaissance Dam, we want them to have the experience to look at what we have done and to make sure that when people have ambitions and have targets that are strong, that will lead to a strong economy for the country, that can be done, definitely.
The state minister also said Ethiopia and Sudan have been collaborating on regional and continental issues, mainly in maintaining peace and promoting stability.
We are working together for peace, for Africa, for solidarity, for our both people to have good relationship. I believe this is an added value. This visit has added to what we already have, to build on our previous relationship, to build upon our previous solidarity for peace and prosperity.
Head of the Ethiopian public diplomacy team, Abadullah Gmed, underscores that Ethiopia is working to benefit the Nile Basin countries from the Grand Dam, starting from the onset of its construction. Abadullah appreciated the positive and healthy understanding of the Sudanese about the Grand Dam and has called on other riparian countries to do the same. Research papers were put to discussion regarding the Ethiopian Grand Dam by various scholars. In his presentation, the Sudanese scholar Dr. Osman Eltom Hamad said, the Grand Dam will accelerate the integration of the Eastern Nile economic bloc, anticipated to be effective by 2030.
And now we have gate, and we hope that gate will pave the way and be a starter for our journey towards INEP, the Eastern Nile economic bloc. And hopefully, if we can reach that, we have as a vision, if we can reach that by 2030, that we have an Eastern Nile economic bloc.
Dr. Asfa Hussein Asrat, one of the Ethiopian scholars, mentions in his paper that the Ethiopian government is closely supervising the construction of the dam with great care and assured the Sudanese of its safety.
The Gerd Dam site is located in southwestern Ethiopia. It is very far from the main Ethiopian rift where major activities are common like earthquake and so on. It is located in an area where the rocks are strong, intact granitic materials, and because of the gradient, because it's a low gradient, there is no mass movement, a lot of mass movement in that, and the bedrocks are almost exposed on the surface, so that means we don't have lots of soil cover on the surface, which might slide later. So when we compare the ideal parameters for a dam site and the situations that are in the Renaissance dam site, we can say that from geological point of view, the dam site is, the best you can hope for.
During its stay in Sudan, the public diplomacy team has done a lot in strengthening the existing two-way ties and witnessed the growing interest of the Sudanese towards advancing the relation and working for mutual benefit with Ethiopians.
Public diplomacy
In our stay in Sudan, we have recognized that the people of Sudan have positive awareness about the mutual benefit of the dam.
We have asserted to the people of Sudan that there is a need to further amalgamate the age-long ties and togetherness in the pursuit of a better future by doubling bilateral commitment.
We are here to strengthen that relationship that we had together, and we came here with that belief, and we are very happy that we found that the Sudanese people we are very happy to see the Sudanese people that they do understand that the construction of this dam is for the benefit of both our countries and as Africa as a continent as a whole, and we are very happy to see that.
The public diplomacy team members say they have been moved with the healthy and positive understanding of the people of Sudan about the Grand Dam.
Their determination to cooperate with Ethiopians for common prosperity is really appreciable. I can see that there is a well-established ground for mutual cooperation. They believe that we are one people living in two nations.
They are convinced that the dam will make beneficiary both Sudan, Ethiopia and Egypt, and many of them, especially the intellectuals, they had studies on this issue, and it was well pursued by the community, and everybody is ready to collaborate with Ethiopia. We conveyed our message to the community, to the people and government of Sudan. I will say the mission was very successful.
Their understanding about the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam is so amazing. We've met many Sudanese who are eager to see the economic impact of the dam.
They have clearly understood the benefit of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. As far as one pursues peaceful development, it is likely that others will reach common consensus.
The Ethiopian public diplomacy team has also been amazed with the warm hospitality of the people and government of Sudan.
The way Sudanese hosted us was very amazing. Their future vision of economic and political integration with Ethiopia is commendable.
We are very happy how the Sudanese people welcomed us. They were very warm and hospitable, and they had a very warm welcome for us, starting from the airport and all the days after that, and we are very happy and grateful.
Secretary General of Sudanese International People's Friendship Council, Abdul Monem Al-Suni Ahmed, describes the visit as having played a typical role in strengthening people-to-people connections.
This visit it is very important for the people-people relation between Sudan and Ethiopia. You know that the relation between the government and government, it is very strong, but by this visit I think we convey the relation to be very strong also between the civil organization in Sudan and civil organization in Ethiopia. You know, now the
commercial and trade people. They conduct a meeting with the counterpart, and also the musician group conduct a meeting with counterpart and the youth, the women. So we can say by this visit now the relation between the nation in Sudan and the nation in Ethiopia really unify these two nations to be one nation between in two countries.
He says the Grand Dam to be a mutual resource, though it is being constructed in Ethiopia.
This is dam, I think it is in Ethiopia land, but to me and to all Sudanese, by this visit and by well demonstrated for the people, it is not a dam. Yes, it is in the Ethiopian land, but I think this is dam for Sudan, for Egypt, for Ethiopia, not fully for Ethiopia.
After concluding its visit in Sudan, the Ethiopian public diplomacy team has met Prime Minister Haile Mariam Desalegn in Addis Ababa. In his meeting with the team members, the Prime Minister noted Ethiopia's public diplomacy is shifting its focus to economic diplomacy. He also noted the importance of regional economic integration to foster Ethiopia's diplomatic ties, particularly with neighboring countries.
መተሳሰር አለብን። አንዳችን ከነካን እንደምንጎዳዳ የሚታወቅበት ደረጃ ለመድረስ የሚያስችል ኢንቴግሬሽን ያስፈልገናል።
We have to integrate. We need to reach the level of integration where we understand harming one will harm all of us. The people of Sudan have to believe that harming Ethiopia is harming themselves. And the same goes to Egyptians. We need to build economic integration through power, road network, rail system, and trade and investment.
The Prime Minister told the public diplomacy team that a lot has to be done to raise awareness that Ethiopia is constructing the Grand Dam for mutual benefit.
ሳይንሳዊ በሆነ መንገድ የህብረተሰብ ሳይንስንም መሰረት ያደረገ ጥናት የሚያስፈልግ ጉዳይ ነው።
A scientific study that involves social science is mandatory to upgrade the positive understanding of the region on Ethiopia's Mammoth Dam. I believe that this heterogeneous group would play a vital part in conducting studies for the cause.
Moreover, Haile Mariam has demanded the team to assume national agendas other than the issue of the Nile River.
በአባይ ጉዳይ ብቻ ሳይሆን በሌሎች አገራዊ ጉዳዮችም ጭምር የተደራጀ ሐሳብ የሚያቀርብ እንደ think tank.
Beyond the issue of River Nile, we expect this team to work on other national agendas. It has to move ahead with that in mind. I see there is an enabling atmosphere to act accordingly.
Since recently, Ethiopia has shifted focus to public diplomacy to cement people-to-people relations in East Africa, the Nile countries and Africa as a whole, in the pursuit of promoting mutual development and maintaining peace and fostering democracy.
عاشت 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 الصداقة السودانية الإثيوبية عاشت 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 الصداقة السودانية الإثيوبية